Hey everyone, welcome to the Bitcoin video today. It's the 30th of June, 2020. It's about 3:46 p.m. We're closing in on the closure of the stock market. We're going to be heading into futures trading session. Before I get into any of this, of course, not financial advice, not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. And, of course, I'm just giving my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at good old Bitcoin. All right, so first off, we've got lots of support and resistance, which we have been paying attention to, and rightfully so. I do just want to go ahead and point out that we have broken, this was actually a couple days ago, we did break some pretty important support, which is kind of showing a sign of weakness. We are continually getting from our top that we had back here, scrolling out and just watching this entire move from the bottom here in March, we were basically taking out prior resistance and just continually making higher high after higher high after higher high. We had a high here, we went a little higher here, we went a little higher here, we went higher here, we went higher here, then finally we had our ultimate high, which was, right up there at, 10,500 or so. And then after that, what we have seen just continued lower high after lower high. And, I've got these two little green areas here. These are pretty close, pretty near term for me to really be counting this as resistance, right? Short term, I would say that this is pretty important resistance. Drilling down into these levels, I do think that these areas are pretty important. We've got a bearish cross here on our exponential and simple 200 moving averages, and that means that things are kind of moving to the downside. It's not looking too good. So I've got this area up here tagged, which is at about let's see here. This is going to be at about 92.50 or so. Next area up here is going to be about 93.50. Okay, so this level, if this gets taken out, chances are pretty good we're going to go for a rate up here at 93.50. If this gets taken out, well, I don't have any dominant pivots until we get all the way back up here at 9,800. I've got a lot of people that are comparing this, to a little bit of a cup. So we've got a little bit of this going on. Okay, don't know if that's going to happen. Also, you also have the people out there that are taking a look at this from this area here. We create a shoulder up here, a head, and then we only have up here, but maybe we do make it up here to 93, and then we only come down to this support level, which is at about 89, and then we make our way back up to 98, right? Is that going to happen? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but what we can say with some amount of certainty is we are continuing to compress. Even on these lower hourly time frames, we are compressing, right? So even on a lower time frame, right? So let's go to, say, a 15-minute time frame. Let's just take a look at this. I would venture to say that we've got a little bit of a trend line going on right here, okay? We are, having a hard time breaking down below this. We could take this over here, watch this, right? So watch these trend lines, and I can pull this thing over here, and we can see that there is continued clustering over here. Probably if I wanted to, I could take this guy all the way down here and then pull this guy up, have another touch right there. So, we've got a couple touches on trend lines, nothing super crazy, but let's also take a look at this from a channel perspective, okay? So we have an obvious pivot here, an obvious pivot here. So let's see how this might potentially line up. So let's go ahead and pull this guy, tag him right up there at the top, and take this guy over here. We'll tag him right up at the top, and let's just see what we've got from this perspective. Okay? So ignoring what's over here to the left, let's just look over to the right. Okay, so let's do this just to keep things clear that I'm focused looking forward and not necessarily looking in the past. I'm focused looking here. Okay, so we've got a touch down here. We've got a lot of clustering here at the median. We're currently trading below the median. We're getting a little bit of resistance there. So if this breaks to the downside, I'd say we're probably going to go lower. If this breaks the median, then I do think we probably go and test this upper. And again, kind of going back to that inverted headed shoulder meme, If we do break through this and we work our way up, I mean, I could see us easily expanding on this just a little bit, getting us up here to the 93.50 level. Okay. Another thing that we have discussed in great detail, let me remove that channel, something else we've discussed in great detail in our videos and also on the Discord is the fact that if we take this from the top up here, let me try and get this perfect. Okay, I always try and tag these as good as I possibly can and all the way down to the bottom, right? So we kind of have a little bit of resistance here to 382. Now, if we break this 382 and we start taking out some of these lows that we've created, then I would say this target to the downside is going to be somewhere around 8,600 short term. Also, you also have to look at this as, you know, this is just our logical resistance, and we're going to be pushing up through it, and then we're going to get to our 50 and the 618. So again, these are also areas that I'm very interested in. I would say more likely than not, we're probably going to hit this 9,300 level. This is going to be at the 50. In which case, again, we're looking at a downside target at least to 86. Are we going to go lower than that? Well, that's a really fantastic question. The only future predictions that we can put on this is if we use our trend-based fib extension, taking this, thinking that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got our first move. Whether this is a 1 or an A, we don't know this yet. But if we do make it all the way up here to 9,300, so let me just pull this back to 9,300 as close as I can. Go up just a little bit. That's pretty close, 92.99. All right, downside target. If this is going to be a 100% equality, then we easily have a target down here at about 83, 8,400. If we're going to go a little further than that, we're looking at 8,100. If this is a 3 that we're going to be entering into, we're going to be looking here at 78. That's our bearish target, bearish to the downside. Now, I think it's fair to want to take a look at our bullish outcome. All right, so let me just start off saying this. We've got major resistance above where we're currently trading. Yes, we did have a nice big long capitulation candle all the way down here. That was on March 12th, March 13th. And as you all know, Daniel, hey, how are you? As you all know, I was very bullish after this happened, extremely bullish when that happened. You know, everybody was freaking out down here. And I'm like, no, 4,500 buy, 5,000 buy, 6,000 buy. So I was very bullish down here. Now, did I make some mistakes on the rise up? Sure. I tried shorting 7,000. That was a mistake. I'm still holding on to my 6,000 long, but I tried shorting at 7,000. I lost a bit on that. And, you know, it's just the way that it goes sometimes. But now, the bullish scenario, honestly, still has us going down, right? Still has us going down. Right now, we've got the S&P, which is actually currently closing pretty bullish right now. It's closing some gaps. It's looking pretty good. But if we've topped out, again, we're talking longer time frame here. Let's just take a look at it from this perspective, okay? We're looking for a move down here to probably the 50. That's going to take us down here to 63, okay? So if we are in a downtrend like this, I'd hesitate to say that we have really pivoted yet. The only glimmer of hope that bears have seen so far, let's go down to just like a 2-hour, is this break right here. This is the only glimmer of hope that bears have seen so far, because we really haven't created any new highs yet, but we have created a new low. This pivot right here, this was pretty darn important if you ask me. And we rated it, and we did have a nice spring off of it, but we violated that. And we created, in my opinion, a localized lower low. Okay? That next area, so if we start closing or even make another attempt down here, I say we go and try and rate this guy. Okay? That's going to be a rate of 86. And what did I say about 86 just a minute ago? Again, let's just pull that back up, and let's just take a look at this again. From up here, our first move right here, our second move back to 93. So we've got the 618 right down here, and then we come maybe down here, maybe down here. You know, this is going to be a pretty monstrous support level as well, all the way down here at 8,000. All right, so we've broken up above 10,000. We got to almost 10.5. We had a nice support here. We've had support at 9,000. But the more times that we hit that, the more the chances that we break down. I'm going to take a look at one more technical here, and then we're going to go ahead and end this video for today. So from the top down here to this bottom, right? So we've been looking at from this top to this bottom right here. But what if we completed a structure here? Maybe this was a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this is valid, and we are just correcting this larger move right here. All right, so potentially we go up here to 94. That's possible we do go up here. Again, these two levels of resistance are local. They're not the important levels of resistance. In my opinion, we've got this level right here, which is important. Aside from that, we've got this level right up here, which is going to be our next important. These are, in my opinion, more confirmed resistance levels to pay attention to. These are more or less scalpers support and resistance levels. They're not the really, really important ones. So let me just highlight these in yellow just to make it a little clear. These aren't as important as, say, 9,800, 10,000, right? 10,000 obviously should be pretty important. In my opinion, if we go above 9,800, I mean, one, we're going to be in the bear territory. This is where there's going to be, you see here we have giant liquidity up here, and this giant liquidity for me is liquidity for bears. I say that we're going to be basically pushing up into supply above 10,000 if we do go that high. I personally don't think that we will. I think we're probably likely to get some resistance at 93, 94, maybe 96. I don't think we go this high. Okay, if we do get back up there, then we'll reevaluate. But for right now, I'm looking for moves to the downside. I say that we are in a bearish scenario. And again, I've been wrong before. I'll probably be wrong again. It is what it is. But I do think that that more than likely we are in the middle of creating a bearish sequence. I do think that we have seen some distribution over here, and we're starting to see some natural support at the psychological 9,000 level. We're just going to have to wait and see. One more thing. Let's take a look at BLX. And wait for this to pop up here. And take a look at BLX because somebody on the Discord brought this up. So let's take a look at the BLX on the, I think it was the monthly that they were looking at. See what we've got here. On the monthly, we're creating basically a series of higher highs on the monthly. And we've got a high here, high here. I'm not seeing, let me go back to that message because it was a pretty interesting message discussing, really important divergence here. And I'm just simply not seeing it based on this chart. So we're looking at bearish divergence on the monthly, looking at the RSI where we've created a higher high. I'm not seeing it on here. So no, I'm not seeing monthly bearish divergence. That has been brought up. Let me take a look at one other indicator. And this is going to be on this. Right now the monthly, actually the monthly printed a buy last month on this. I don't usually use it on a monthly. So the weekly is currently printing a sell. So yeah, I'm not seeing any significant divergence. Maybe on the weekly. Let's take a look at weekly on the RSI and see if we see anything over here that's worth mentioning. So weekly RSI, we're creating, we created lower. All right, so I guess this one is worth mentioning. This is on the weekly though. This isn't on the monthly. So I guess just taking a look at this guy right here. What we've got right here, and this is so subtle, right? We do have a lower slope on this where we did technically create a higher high on the weekly, right? On the weekly, very, very minor bearish divergence on this. I don't know how extreme this is going to be, but really we need to take out like this 21 exponential. We need to take out this other moving average that I have on here, and then maybe we make our way back down to the 200 again. Maybe we make our way back down to the 200, which is currently sitting at about 62.43. Looking at the weekly 200. Exponential and simple moving averages, we've been a buy since May of 2017 to hold on to that, and that hold has actually been pretty good. We've had, obviously, we had the bull run, we've had, our dips and our little bull run of last year. I can't help but watch this algo target right here. If we take this, pull this here, I can't help but look at this on a much higher time frame, even if we did have some weekly bearish divergence, okay? I can't help but see this as, from up here, W, X, oh, let me get this wrong. So that's going to be an X, Y, X, Z. Seeing this coming down, and actually no, that's not valid. So really, I'm looking at this as W, X, and then a Y. You know, are we going to go down to 2,000? Again, I'm not getting super bearish here. I'm not going to do this to you guys. I'm not going to say that we're coming all the way down here. This is just something that I have to keep my eye on. I have to keep my eye on this because we had a golden zone rejection. Let me get off of the log scale. We had a golden zone rejection on this. Okay, this is a rejection that we have to keep an eye on. We haven't closed really above the 50. We haven't closed above 11,500 since January 2018. You know, we have a closure here. That high, or rather, the close was at 11,568. You know, over here we had the close here, which was at 11,475. You know, that's pretty darn important. That's pretty darn important right there. And now we're creating again lower high after lower high after lower high on a higher time frame. You know, obviously we have this at 19,760. We've got this right here that's at about 13.8. We have this guy right here. We're just continually creating lower high after lower high. You know, we're just going to have to wait and see. Again, I'm not going to get super bearish and say that we're coming down to 2,000. I'm just simply saying that that's something we do have to keep an eye on as we start to curl and move to the downside, which I think we're probably going to do. So, yeah, that's what I've got right there. That's what I got for right now. Okay, all right, I think that's good for right now. Of course, you know, we've got the Discord server. I want to just kind of bring this up again. If you're not on Discord, you know, and you want to have access to the server, just throw in a comment in the YouTube chat. I'll be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. You know, if this video did help you, like, subscribe, share, you know, share with your friends and all of that. And, you know, we're always looking to grow the community. But wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, good evening. Stay happy, stay healthy. Take care, everyone.